everything in college football, as you know, has become territorial, and in particular when it comes to conferences. So what I wanted to do is right off the bat is just break down where all the top recruits in the country are going to play and what conferences that they signed with. So let's look at the 39 players that were rated 5-star recruits, the top 39 players in the country, and this is where they landed. Now, there's not going to be a total of 39 because technically Deuce Robinson has not signed. We think he's going to be at Georgia. So that number for the SEC is actually going to go up from 21 to 22, or at least we expect that. But this is what it looks like. And yeah, that's not a misprint right there. Look at what the 5-star recruits are telling us is that the best football is in the SEC, and that's where they're going to go. 21 of the 39 5-star recruits, soon to be 22, signed in the SEC. The Big 12 with 7, they came in second. The Pac-12 with 5 jumps up there. ACC with 4, and the Big 10 with 1 5-star recruit for the entire conference. That was shocking. And obviously a graphic like this, you're going to need further explanation. And the teams that jump out right away is like, wait. What did Ohio State do? What did Michigan do? Well, more on Michigan in a little bit, but I do want to sit with Ohio State for a second, because when you look at that graphic where all the 5-star recruits went, you might think that, hey, Ohio State got lapped in recruiting, and that's not quite the case. Now, listen, they didn't win the recruiting year, and that crown clearly goes to Alabama. Alabama has one of the best classes that we've seen in recruiting. Obviously, not quite what Texas A&M had as far as the total number last year, but certainly close. Like, this was a great class. They had 9 5-star recruits. So this is a team and a program that is going nowhere and will continue to get better. But Ohio State had the only 5-star recruit to sign in the entire Big Ten. And I think it begs the question of like, well, you know, what happened? What's going on? Well, before we dive into Ohio State and their class, I do want to just throw this out there. In this day and age, isn't it becoming like obvious who the conferences and the teams that are going to engage in the NIL discussion and who aren't? And by the way, there's so many different philosophies. And so I hesitate to even bring this topic up because people are going to immediately be like, are you suggesting someone's dirty? No, not at all. I'm just suggesting that philosophically, programs around the country are approaching NIL very differently. Okay. Case in point, Michigan is a team that really doesn't want to give NIL dollars or promise NIL dollars to potential recruits. And because of that, they've seen their high school recruiting number dip. Now, what they have shown is that if you prove yourself, that they do have very lucrative NIL deals, but for guys that earn them on the field there at Michigan. Blake Corum is earning plenty of money. They also started a collective that's very unique, by the way, and one of the most unique, I don't want to say it's the only one because I don't know that for sure, but they have this collective that is basically a one more year collective. Like it's a collective that raises money to make sure that they can provide NIL deals for the players that they feel like could and should stay in school for another year. Well, that's very different than, let's say, promising an incoming freshman NIL dollars. Okay, so I think that when you at least think about the way teams, conferences are approaching NIL, it can lead to some clarity when you see a graphic that is that unbalanced, like you saw with the 5-star players. Now, let's move on to Ohio State, because Ohio State is a case study in why the 5-star, 4-star argument isn't always the best argument. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, let's start with this. There were 39 players that earned a 5-star rating. These are the best of the best. And obviously you want as many of those players as you possibly can. Those are the top players in the country. It's also should be noted that from player 40 until about player 350, or more, or 400, or even more than that, those players get 4-star ratings. So that's a huge number of players that get a 4-star rating. So let's just throw this out there. If you signed the 40th player in the country and he technically got a 4-star ranking, is that equivalent to signing the 404th top player in the country who also got a 4-star ranking? No, it's not. So stars don't always tell the story when it comes to the 4-star. So you have to dig a little bit deeper.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.